This is actually a real good comment by my man Bruce down in Florida. Uh, he says it's interesting how the media and all the powers that be are leading us to believe that no one's saving enough for retirement or whatnot, that we're all going to be destitute. And yet, at the same time, they're saying we should borrow to buy a car, borrow to buy a home because a home's a great investment, borrow to go to college. Yeah, I never thought about it like that. That's a great point, man. Isn't that interesting, though? We're not saving enough, and so, but we definitely want to live the American dream by taking all this debt to get a college degree. And yet the college degree thing, and I was just reading an article the other day, they said, oh, the average college grad makes more than 80% of the average high school grad, as if that is, the proof that they need to prove that college is worth it. And I said that's just such a silly statistic. If you want to use the average median, that's one thing, and even that I'd challenge that. I mean, not the average median. If you want to use a median salary for a college grad versus the median salary for a high school grad, I'd be more inclined to go that route because a median, 50% of the people are above, 50% of the people are below. But even that's not right, because what happens is every single doctor who ever practices medicine, every single attorney who ever practices law, every single CPA, all these high-paying service, financial service, or not just financial services, but services, these professionals, doctors, lawyers, accountants, and the whole thing that we always hear about, all those people graduated college. All right, all those people did. None of those people are high school grads only. That's not. So the issue is you're lumping all these people, from the doctors, the lawyers, the accountants, the hedge fund managers. I mean, all these people are college grads. But a lot of those people are graduate grads as well. You see what I'm saying? So what you should do is you should say, look, we're going to take out all the people with graduate degrees and just do bachelor's versus high school. When you do that, it'd be much, much different, because every single doctor who is practicing, every single anesthesiologist who's making $500,000 is a college grad. That guy's being thrown into the same pool as a history major who can't find a job to save his life. All right, but they're both college grads. They're both, so the doctor is bringing up the income of the average simply because they're making so much money. And every single anesthesiologist out there is a college grad. So we're going to say, okay, we're going to have all these college grads, some of which are not, again, history majors, on a modern art, social justice stuff. I mean, whatever it is, those people aren't making any money. But we're going to throw them in, we're going to lump them in with these people with long careers as students in graduate school. That doesn't make any, I mean, it's just not it's a silly comparison. We're going to compare that group to this group of high school people. That's it. That's just dumb, man. It's dumb. But then on top of that, they're saying, okay, they might be making 80, so you don't do that. If you want to do an honest comparison, you say every single college grad who did not go to graduate school, all right, in graduate school, but med school, law school, MBA, every single college grad who did not do that. Secondly, if we're going to do this, we're going to say every single college grad, or the average college grad, is making 80% more than the average high school grad. Well, you have to throw in cash flow too, and this is another thing they don't do. So I'm sitting there thinking, I'm not arguing that going to college won't make you a little bit more money. I'm not. I'm arguing it won't make you a little bit more money relative to the lifestyle that you want to lead, which is, if I'm making 80% more in income, but I got 100% more in debt, I'm 20% behind. I mean, that's just a fact. So it's kind of like the whole thing with, look at all the debt Americans have. Oh my goodness, we have all this debt. Well, if you only look at the balance sheet on the debt side, but you don't look at the balance sheet on the asset side, it's just silly. You look at the net worth. So if you say, oh my goodness, we have $4 million in debt, and you don't look at the $26 million, $1 trillion, or whatever it is, of assets, it's meaningless observation. So you say, we used to only have $2 million and $2 trillion in debt. Now you got $4 million. So our debt has doubled. The sky has fallen. We only used to have $8 trillion of assets. Now we got $24 trillion of assets. So our assets have tripled. Which would you rather be, 2 to 8 or 4 to 24? It's crazy. And that's what they're doing when they're using these kind of comparison shopping in order to make a point. It's nuts. And so what happens is you're saying, okay, so the average college guy makes $80,000 more than the average high school guy. And I don't know when, it just says the average. It doesn't even say when, we don't know. We just know the average. So if you go to college, the average person who went to college and graduates has $80,000 more of income than the average person who went to high school and graduated. And it's just such a meaningless thing. But let's just use that. Okay. So what is the cash flow of the average college grad versus the cash flow of the average high school grad? Is the cash flow of the average college grad better or worse? Because that's ultimately, from a financial perspective, the only thing that matters is cash flow. What is the asset base of the average college grad versus the average high school grad? I.e., what's the net worth? I mean, you'd like to think the net worth of the average college grad is higher because they're making more money, thus they have more contributed to their Social Security, thus they have more contributed to the 401k. But we don't know that, because if they're taking on all kinds of debt, they might have negative net worth. I mean, you can't get sucked into these statistics that try to prove a point without looking at both sides of the equation. This stuff happens all the time. I mean, the whole thing with the $80,000 thing on college grads make $80,000 more. I'm like, that's just one tiny viewpoint of the whole situation here. It's a meaningless statistic unless we know everything else that's going with it. So I just thought I'd point that out. And then Bruce on top of it says, it's funny how everyone's saying the sky is falling because they're not saving enough. But man, no one's talking about stop taking on debt. You know, with a credit, Capital One, we see Capital One Bank all over the place. We see them in college. You got these guys, with their T-shirts, giving out T-shirts and stuff. Hell, at the airport, you can't get away without going through the airport with being solicited for credit cards. So anyway, I just want to point that out. Don't fall for faulty statistics. Thanks.